The gym is the only place where being wrong carries a monthly price tag. We are ranking the 10 biggest gym myths by what they cost you every year. Every entry is priced in real dollars, backed by published research or federal lawsuits. Number 1 alone has produced court-ordered judgments worth tens of millions of dollars. Number 10, waist trainers and sauna belts. The pitch could not be simpler. Strap it on, sweat harder, and the belly fat leaves. Sauna belts and waist trainers sell a shortcut your body is not able to take. Extra sweat is water leaving your skin. It is not fat leaving your body. Step on the scale afterwards and the number drops. Drink 1 glass of water and it returns. Fat loss comes from a calorie deficit, never from the temperature at your waistline. The American Board of Cosmetic Surgery says these belts can cut lung capacity by 30 to 60%. Doctors also warn they restrict breathing and reduce core muscle engagement during training. So a device sold to build your core quietly teaches your core to switch off. A typical neoprene trimmer runs about $40 on the shelf. That is the smallest bill on this entire list, which is exactly why it lands at 10. There is no evidence that the pricier models deliver better long-term results. Skip it, keep the $40, and let the calorie deficit do the actual work. Number 9. Designer creatine. Creatine genuinely works. That part is not the myth here. The myth is that you need the expensive, cleverly rebranded version of it. Hydrochloride, buffered, liquid, and micronized blends all promise better absorption at a higher price. Plain creatine monohydrate is the most studied sports supplement that exists. 5 grams a day increases strength, power, and lean mass alongside resistance training. Monohydrate can cost as little as 13 cents per 5-gram dose. Designer forms routinely run 3 to 10 times that price for an identical result. No evidence shows the premium versions outperform standard monohydrate. Across a year, that markup quietly costs roughly $120. Spending extra on creatine has never been shown to improve your outcome. It is the rare case where the cheapest option on the shelf is the correct one. Buy the boring tub. That is the entire strategy. Number 8, EMS AB belts. Electrical muscle stimulation belts promise a six-pack while you sit on the couch. The infomercial version of this claim is among the most litigated in all of fitness. In 2002, the Federal Trade Commission launched an operation named Project Absurd. It targeted 3 top-selling belts, Fast Abs, AbTronic, and Ab Energizer. The agency alleged they falsely promised fat loss and washboard abs without any exercise. Marketers of Fast Abs settled for over $5 million. A Nevada court held AbTronic defendants liable for $83 million in redress. The settlements permanently banned any claim that these belts beat actual sit-ups. Visible abs come from low body fat, and body fat comes from diet. A belt plus the gadgets that follow it typically runs around $150. The device is not merely useless, it replaces the training that would have worked. That opportunity cost is why number 8 outranks the 2 entries below it. Number 7. Branched-chain amino acids. Branched-chain amino acids were sold as an essential intra-workout insurance policy. The idea was that sipping them mid-session would protect your hard-earned muscle. A systematic review of 22 randomized controlled trials tested that claim directly. Across 511 participants, the supplements did not improve body composition. Only 1 of 5 body composition studies detected any benefit whatsoever. The reason is structural. Muscle needs all 9 essential amino acids, not 3. Branched-chain aminos alone lift muscle protein synthesis by around 22%. Whey protein at the same leucine dose pushes that closer to 50%. If you already eat over 1.6 grams of protein per kilogram, they are redundant. At roughly $1 a serving, 4 sessions weekly, that is about $220 yearly. There are narrow exceptions, such as fasted training or genuinely low protein intakes. For nearly everyone else, this is a subscription to a nutrient you already own. Number 6. Mandatory pre-workout. Somewhere along the way, the tub of pre-workout became non-negotiable gym equipment. The tingle, the pump, the flavor names, it feels like the session already began. Strip away the label, and the ingredient doing the heavy lifting is caffeine. Pre-workouts carry anywhere from 0 to 425 milligrams of it. They also carry 10 to 15 further ingredients backed by far thinner evidence. One serving typically costs between $1 and $3.67. A 200 milligram caffeine pill costs roughly 6 cents. 4 sessions a week at $1.50 is about $300 a year. The same caffeine from pills runs close to $12 for the entire year. That is a 25-to-1 price gap for the identical active compound. Citrulline and beta-alanine do have real support, but sell for pennies separately. Mostly you are paying for flavoring, marketing, and the tingle on your skin. Number 5. The gym membership you never use. This one is not a supplement. It is a belief about your own future behavior. The myth is that paying for the gym will somehow make you attend the gym. 67% of gym memberships go completely unused. 63% of members quit inside the first 6 months. Only around 18% attend with any real consistency. One survey found Americans waste up to $319 each year. Nationally, unused memberships burn well over $1 billion every single year. 34% of January signups had stopped going before the year ended. The contract was never the motivation. It was a monthly reminder of failure. Sunk cost does not build a habit. Scheduling and proximity build the habit. If you have not scanned in for 2 months, cancel and rebuild the habit first. Number 5 is the most predictable $300 anybody loses each year. Number 4. The 30-minute anabolic window. For 2 decades, lifters sprinted to the locker room clutching a shaker bottle. The claim was a 30 to 60-minute window where nutrients built muscle best. Miss that window and the entire session was supposedly wasted. A meta-analysis of 23 randomized controlled trials examined exactly this. Across 525 subjects, timing showed no significant effect. There was no advantage in hypertrophy or strength once total protein was controlled. That final clause is the entire story. The timing groups had simply eaten more. When researchers matched intake, the 25% protein gap closed and the effect vanished. Muscle protein synthesis stays elevated for 24 to 48 hours after training. The window is not 30 minutes, it is most of the following 2 days. A daily rushed shake you never needed runs near $550 a year. Eat your normal meal whenever it suits you. Muscle does not check a clock. Number 3. More protein is always better. Protein is the one macronutrient nobody argues about, and that is the problem. The myth is that if some protein builds muscle, more must build more. Morton and colleagues pooled 49 separate studies to locate the ceiling. Across 1,863 lifters, the answer came back clearly. Intakes above roughly 1.6 grams per kilogram produce no further gains. The confidence interval does stretch to about 2.2 grams per kilogram. That is precisely where the popular 1.6 to 2.2 range came from. It is not a floor to beat, it is a plateau you already reached. A 180-pound lifter chasing a gram per pound eats 50 extra grams daily. At current protein prices, that overshoot costs roughly $700 a year. Some newer analyses argue heavily trained lifters may still benefit from more. For the average gym-goer, that surplus is simply money you metabolize and flush. Number 2. Testosterone boosters. The testosterone booster aisle sells a promise it almost never delivers. Researchers at the University of Southern California analyzed the most popular products online. 90% of them claimed to boost testosterone. Only 24.8% had any data supporting that claim. The typical ingredient list reads fenugreek, zinc, maca, and ashwagandha. Only 19% of studies on the 10 commonest ingredients used human subjects. D-aspartic acid has been shown to be ineffective at changing testosterone levels. Research on tribulus terrestris, another staple ingredient, remains stubbornly inconclusive. Median vitamin B12 content reached 1,291% of the daily value. Some products exceeded FDA upper limits for zinc, vitamin B3, and magnesium. At $40 to $70 monthly, this habit runs near $700 a year. Experts advise skipping them entirely and seeing a doctor if you suspect low testosterone. And number 1. Fat burners and detox teas. The most expensive myth in the gym is the one promising the least work. Fat burners, thermogenics, and detox teas claim to melt fat with no deficit at all. This category is so consistently deceptive that regulators built entire cases around it. The Federal Trade Commission calls 7 specific weight loss claims scientifically infeasible. Those include losing weight without dieting and permanent loss for every single user. High-tech pharmaceuticals was ordered to pay over $40 million for violating a court order. It had marketed products with unsubstantiated claims like rapid fat loss and thermogenic. A court entered a $15.2 million judgment against tea seller Teami. Teami had promoted its teas through undisclosed paid influencer posts. The commission returned over $900,000 to more than 20,000 buyers. Branded fat burners have sold for as much as $65 for 1 month. That is $780 a year for a product regulators had to sue. Which of these did you fall for, and which would you rank higher? Comment below, then subscribe.